What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today, you guys, with a brand new review for I decided to do it. Divorce Sistas, you guys, season 1, episode 1. The episode is titled Pretty Lady, the Pretty Lady, you guys. So before we go ahead and get into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and also by sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and discuss Divorce Sistas, shall we? All right, you guys, so the first episode, I just watched it. It was okay. It wasn't bad. Y'all know, I'm gonna give it the old college girl try. We're gonna rock with it. And if it's something that I think I'm going to, now I ain't gonna sit here and tell you guys how long we're gonna stick with Divorce Sistas. That I'm not gonna sit here and tell you a lie and be like, we're gonna stick with this for as long as it's on. Y'all know I'm good to drop a Tyler Perry show in a heartbeat the minute they get on my nerves. Now the episode opens up and we're introduced to Tiffany and Geneva, right? So Geneva is picking up her daughter Anika from school, right? And so Tiffany is on the phone with somebody. So Tiffany, I guess Tiffany is a realtor because she's talking about showing a house, right? So Geneva is like, are you sure that you can watch Anika? Because, William and I are going to Italy. I can take her and stay with, leave her with my mom. And Geneva was like, no, girl, I got this. And, they're talking about their other friends, Rashida. And then they talked about Naomi. And because she was like, who else you going to leave her with? You can't leave her with Naomi. She damn sure can't leave her with Naomi. I wouldn't leave a dog with Naomi. We'll get into Naomi in a little bit. Rashida, she's like, if you leave her with Rashida gonna have her speaking in tongues and saying church hymns by the end of it, right? So then we also found out that this friend group has been friends with each other for 20 years, right? They do have a little bit of an issue with Naomi, which we'll get into. Like I said, we'll talk about Naomi once we get to Naomi. So Geneva is talking to Tiffany because Tiffany is divorced, and Tiffany's like, it's only been a few months. She's like, girl, it's been 3 years. And she's like, you need to get out there, live your life, because the reason why you're okay with taking Anika is because, you are not really trying to deal with what you're going through, right? So then Tiffany told Geneva that Bridget told her that, she thinks that there's something going on between Pastor Jeff and with Rashida. And so she was like, do you believe Bridget? And we'll get into that a little bit later too, right? So then, they pull up to the car. They're in the carpool lane, right? So they pull up and Tiffany saw a man. She's like, oh, he's fine. And Geneva was like, yeah, he is fine. So is his husband. She's like, damn, all the good ones are either gay, taken, or whores, right? So then a little Anika's teacher came out, right? She was like, oh, it is so nice to see you. We love seeing both parents because typically it's the nanny or somebody else coming to pick up the child. I said, God damn. So you one of them people. You had a kid. And then she's in a car talking about how hard it was for her to conceive her daughter, but you don't seem that, you seem hands off when it comes to your daughter. But okay, whatever. So then we see Jeff and Rashida. So Jeff and Rashida, they're preparing for this this fundraiser, I guess, that they're doing, right? And so they're going over who's gonna sit where and where people are gonna sit, right? And so Jeff is like, he wants to keep a seat open. And Rashida looks at him and she's like, so are you expecting somebody else to come that's not on the guest list? He was like, yeah. She's like, it better not be Franklin. And so he said, if it is, he's one of the biggest money donors. And so from what I'm taking from this, it sounds like Jeff is trying to build a bigger church. And so he wants to hobnob with the who's who got money so that way he can get this church built, right? If I'm wrong, if I'm off base, please don't tell me, you guys. I want to watch the episodes and be caught up, right? And know what I'm talking. I don't want y'all to spoil it. That's what I'm trying to say. So then Bridget is talking to Jeff and like, well, how long do you need to speak, right? He was like, well, it only depends on how long my wife talks. I was like, rude ass bastard. Jeff is an asshole. And so they finished the meeting, right? And so Rashida followed up behind him and she was like, Jeff, can I talk to you? And he was like, what's up? And she was like, can you stop undermining me in front of the staff? He said, I wasn't doing that. I said, well, you were doing a dang up job of proving that you not, like, you were definitely undermining your wife, like you cracking a joke at her expense. Baby, Jeff would have all the teeth missing out of his fucking mouth if it was me. But let's pause here, you guys, and we're gonna move forward. Also, you guys, I hope y'all don't hear what's going on outside, because today is Saturday and it is the pool party outside, and they just started playing the music, so I hope you guys don't hear that. If you do, ignore it. Now, Geneva got home. When she got home, Naomi was outside of her house, right? So when Geneva and Tiffany got out the car, Naomi cussing at them. I was like, in front of the child, girl, you ain't got no respect. Tiffany is kind of, not Tiffany, what's her name again? Naomi. Naomi is giving me a ghetto version of Danny from Sistas. So she asked Geneva, did you have a chance to look over the lawsuit? And Geneva said she did, right? So Geneva then said that he's asking the judge to have you stop harassing him. And Naomi said, I'm not harassing him. Then she stormed off talking about, I'll just find a new lawyer. And Tiffany and Geneva went in the house, and she was like, she's not gonna find another lawyer. She's fired every lawyer in this town, so she's not firing you, right? So then they call Bridget up on the phone because they want to talk to Rashida. But Rashida's in her office, and Rashida's not really trying to talk to them at this particular moment. So what's her name? What is her girl name again? Bridget told them that Pastor Jeff is thinking about inviting Franklin, and they was like, if he invites Franklin, and that's gonna be a whole ass shit show if Franklin and their white woman show up, right? So then Bridget hung up the phone with Tiffany and with Geneva, and so she went into Rashida's office, and she's talking to Rashida. Rashida was crying, right? So Bridget just went in there to go check on her, and Rashida was like, I didn't ask you to come in. And so Bridget says, she told Bridget, like, I don't want this right here, right now. I was like, well, girl, the way your husband just treated you, you should have went oops upside his head. Oops upside his head. But neither here nor there, right? So Rashida asked if she told the girls what's going on. She said no, but you should. I was like, girl, you done told Tiffany that there's potentially something going on between them two. You done told them that Jeff is potentially going to invite Franklin. Girl, you just sat there and lied in front of your friend's face. But hey, and you look like you're in a church house? Okay, you play with the Lord all you want to, right? So Rashida is talking about how she has to now find a way to uninvite Naomi, because if Franklin comes with that white woman, basically all hell's gonna break loose. And Bridget was like, but he didn't invite her. She was like, I don't really want to take a chance with that. And after I met Naomi, I don't blame you, Rashida. I wouldn't take no chances when it comes to Naomi. That girl is off her fucking rocker. So then she had Bridget call them back, right? So they're talking about the fact that they need to sit down, they need to talk to Naomi. What is there to say to that girl? I don't think anybody could get through to Naomi. I really truly don't. I think Naomi will only listen to herself and whatever scheme she comes up with, because when we get to Naomi a little later in a few minutes, and I think it's coming up in the next few scenes, but when we get to Naomi, I'm gonna say I ain't feeling Naomi, right? So they talked about Naomi. Geneva is saying, oh, we can't give up on Naomi, and maybe she needs to read your book, maybe she needs to go to church, maybe she needs to go to therapy. I think that's the better thing for Naomi, is to go to fucking therapy, right? So Rashida asked Geneva if she went over the contracts, and she said, yeah. She said, there's a clause in it that I don't like, so we need to get together and we need to discuss it. I was like, oh, so this is giving another Andy 2.0. Like, all the girls go to Andy on Sistas for their legal issues, so all the girls come to Geneva for their legal issues. Got it, right? So then they're all also still talking about how worried they're gonna be if Franklin does show up to this event with that white woman, and so they need to make sure that, Naomi ain't drinking, Naomi ain't this, Naomi ain't Naomi ain't on no bullshit when she gets there. I was like, the Naomi that I met a few minutes ago, that I met in this episode, baby, she's gonna come on 1,000. But let's pause here, you guys, and let's move forward. All right, you guys. So next up, we get Anika. So Anika is playing with her dolls, and she says to, "Ooh, you so damn fine." And Geneva was like, "What did you just say?" She said, "Ooh, you so damn fine." She said, "Where'd you hear that?" She said, "That's not appropriate for you to say," because she's 5 years old. And she's like, "Well, Daddy says it." And so Tiffany's like, "Oh, she heard you and William talking." She's like, "No, Daddy said it to the pretty lady at my school." So Geneva's like, "What lady at your school?" And she was like, Maddie's mom." And Tiffany is like, "Girl, she's 5 years old. She has an overactive imagination." I was like, "She may have an overactive imagination, but I bet you that baby girl know what she saw." But so Tiffany is telling her like, "Girl, William wouldn't do that." She was like, "And same thing, ain't that what you said about your husband?" She's like, "But I knew that nigga had it in him, right?" So she's trying to talk Tiffany. Tiffany's trying to talk Geneva down from doing anything stupid. I was like, "Girl, from what I'm looking at with your friend gonna go above and beyond to find out what the fuck she needs to find out." I may need to go in my room for this. All right, you guys. So I had to switch locations because that music it got so loud. Then they started playing "It Takes Two," and I was like, "It takes two to make a thing go right." I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, bitch! I can't risk a copyright." So we're in the car, you guys. So we're gonna finish the rest of this video out in the car. So, what was it? Now I was talking about Geneva, Tiffany, and Anika, right? So Anika is letting Tiffany know that her friend Maddie, that her mom is who her daddy tells that she's so damn fine, right? So after that, we see as Naomi is at home, right? So the door, somebody knocks at the door, rings the doorbell, one of the two, right? And it is Hakeem. I was like, "Who the fuck is this nigga?" Now y'all tell me, is that what's his name? Is that Bolo or is that also? I think that's Bolo, right? Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. It's been so long since I saw Bolo, so I don't remember what Bolo looked like. But I also think he's on All the Queen's Men. Y'all know I don't watch All the Queen's Men, but neither here nor there, right? So he comes into her crib, right? And he looking around the crib. He was like, "Damn, this is a nice ass crib. This yours? This yours? This you? This you?" He kept asking her that. I was like, "Nigga, she done said yes twice to your dumb ass. So why you keep asking her this stupid ass question, right?" So she was like, "So you think a woman can't do this on her own?" He said, "No." So then he asked her like, "You got a man?" Because I ain't trying to be jumping out no windows and no stuff like that. I said, "Girl, if you don't get this man out your place." But then I was like, you know what? This man has got to be an escort. And lo and behold, he was an escort, right? Because he then choked her up. And then, she told him, and I'm going to quote this. She told him, "Eat this pussy." I said, "Oh, okay." We're going very far with this. And then she got on top of his face. And he was doing it. And then he put her on the couch and went down. I said, "Well, I'd be good goddamn." So then we see Geneva. So Geneva is questioning Sarah, asking Sarah, "Who is Maddie? Do she see Maddie when she do the pickup?" And Sarah was like, "Girl, no, I don't see no damn Maddie." So then she called up to the school, tried to talk to Anika's teacher, right? So Anika's teacher's like, "You called my phone, a few times. Is everything okay?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, everything's fine." She was like, Anika has a little friend in the class, Maddie. And so, I was trying to set up a play date with them, and I was trying to get their information from you. I was like, "Girl, that is against the law. That is illegal for that woman to do that. That woman will lose her job." And that's exactly what she told her. So then she was like, "Well, how about you come down to the parent-teacher conference? Because remember, I told you, we love them when both parents are involved." And so Geneva was like, "I am a partner. I am a named partner, but I'll be there." I said, "Girl, you said all that to say that you're going to be there." Whatever. So then we move back over to Hakeem and Naomi, you guys. So Naomi is on top of Hakeem, right? Got a bra on and got her panties on. I was like, this is so unrealistic, but I know we're acting, but okay. Like, what? And it's on BET Plus, so I'm pretty sure y'all can show nudity like Stars does, right? But she got and it's when I say ugly, it wouldn't be attractive to me. That shit was ugly as the fuck. That bra top, that bra was hideous. So she choking him out, right? And then he's like, and she's like, nigga, what you coughing for? You got COVID? I said, ma'am, you're choking the life out of him. No, he ain't got no fucking COVID. So then she throws him the money, and he was like, you charge me, like this is more than what I charge. You sure you don't want me to stay? I said, dude, if you don't get your ass up and go, have you ever heard the age-old saying, never look a gift horse in the mouth? That's what you doing. So then she was like, you can go. You can go. She kept saying it to him, you can go. But he kept sitting there. I was like, dude, go. She done paid you. She's telling you she don't give a fuck how much money she gave you. But lo and behold, your stupid ass is still going to continue to sit here. Why? Why? So then she starts getting on some form of social media, and everybody has her blocked. He was like, oh, I can help you with that. And I was like, how? So his way of helping her, I thought he was gonna hack into something, but no, he just gave her his fake account and added. He said, "Oh, it's a white girl. She definitely gonna accept my ass." And the white girl accepted him. I was like, "What the fuck?" So then she got to the point where she kept telling him to go. She pulled a gun up from up under the bed, put it in his face. He took the gun and licked it. I was like, what the hell is going on here? But okay, it turned him on. He eventually got dressed, and she said, you not moving fast enough, picked up the gun, put the gun back down. I said, what was the purpose of you picking it back up and putting it back down? Okay, whatever. Let's pause here, you guys. We finna wrap this on up. So next up, you guys, we see Tiffany. So Tiffany had been talking about going to get her, she said, a manicure, right? But we see Tiffany and Bridget, they are in the chairs to get a pedicure. Now, Bridget has on a dress, a blazer and a skirt, dress, whatever you want to call it, right? So it looked like Bridget's feet are in some water. But then you got Tiffany over here on the other side. Tiffany got on some long ass pants, right? Her pants. Now, I go get manicures and pedicures all the time, right? Whenever I wear I got on my sweatpants right now. Whenever I wear these sweatpants or any sweatpants, bitch, that be the first thing I do after I take my socks off is I roll my pants legs up because bitch, you ain't finna get me wet. And the funny thing is, once before I raised mine all the way up to my goddamn kneecaps one day, right? And the woman still ended up getting my pants wet. And the one thing to know about me is I hate wet clothes. Oh God, there's something about wet clothes that drives me crazy. So they sitting here gossiping, right? Cause they talking about something is going on, but Bridget is talking about something's going on with Rashida and Jeff, and Tiffany is talking about William and Geneva. I'm like, some friends y'all are to be sitting here gossiping about your friends. With friends like this, who needs a goddamn enemy, right? So Bridget lets it slip that it's something going on between Rashida and Jeff, but she won't tell her. But she will Geneva is also not Geneva. Rashida is writing a book, right? And they say that in Rashida's books, Rashida does put in things that are going on with her currently, but Bridget is saying that Rashida is not letting her read everything in the book. I was like, okay. And so Tiffany was like, well, when did the book come out? Well, we'll know when the book comes out. She said, well, that's some months from now. So then she was like, okay, well, it's your turn to spill. And she was like, well, Tiffany's like, I don't have anything. She was like, girl, yes, you do. She's like, let me call up Geneva real quick. And she's like, no, don't call up Geneva. So then she tells her what happened with Anika. I was like, again, with a friend like these two gossiping hens, who the fuck needs an enemy? Like, here's my thing. I don't have a problem if my friends are concerned about me, that's fine. But to just, it's like y'all, hell no, I wouldn't be with this, right? So then we see Geneva. So Geneva done took her ass down to Anika's school, right? She goes to the door. The janitor is there. She's telling the janitor that Anika left a teddy bear. He was like, oh, I can't let you in. She said, but she's gonna, if I don't have it for her, she's gonna have a bad night. He's like, oh, I can't let you in. I was like, this is the typical Tyler Perry where they had the repetitive dialogue, right? So we do see as Geneva went in, and Geneva saw the picture of Maddie, and she was like, oh, that's Maddie? So she's getting all the information about the Houstons, right? She's found out that the mom comes up there in yoga pants. So I guess the mom has a yoga studio and all this kind of stuff. I was like, oh my God. Whatever. Moving on. So then to wrap up the episode, we see Rashida. So Rashida is counseling this young 19-year-old girl. Now, I knew what was going to happen but it took so long to get to it. I'm not going to take that long to get to it. Ultimately, this 19-year-old girl is having sex with Jeff. I was in her like, because it was so drawn out that to get to the point that the girl was having sex with Jeff. I said, if y'all don't wrap this up today. But overall, Divorce Sistas, episode 1, it was okay. I wasn't upset with it. I was not upset with you guys. But if you guys have watched episodes 1 through 5, just let me know what you guys thought about episode 1. And I'll be back later with episode 2, 3, 4, and 5. So be sure to like the video, you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notifications. Share the video. And until the next time, you guys, stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Be blessed. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.